Daddy, I'll make a heart.
You make a heart. Wow.
What do you mean? The strengths are mind-blowing. They collect hundreds of data points like HRV and REM sleep, so you know all you need for recovery. You are an investor. And Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like wearable training optimization tech.
Innovation. What Invesco QQQ. Investment we didn't consider fund objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at investor.com.
Hey, Lon. Hey.
Hello.
Where have you been hiding?
I call it.
Just kidding. How's the market?
What's up?
Hey, so
Can
you,
you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. So you drove that Model Y yesterday.
Playing the waiting games here.
Yes, I did drive yesterday. And a Mach-E, and a Bolt.
Bolt EUV or just the Bolt, your Bolt?
My Bolt EV, yeah. Not Echo Uniform Golf, just Echo, or Echo Uniform Victor. Not that, just Echo Victor.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Bolt kind of has like a little bit of GTI feel
Vibe.
to it.
Except
Yeah.
for the back seat.
No, not the interest
Except for what?
The back
in
seat.
the housing price.
What do you mean, except for the back seat?
I kind of want interest rate to go up, so.
The GTI back seat is huge.
I don't know. I've never sat in the back. I've only driven one or been in the front passenger seat.
So with it's the typical standard Alex on Autos test.
Yeah. Sit behind yourself.
Sit behind yourself, yeah.
Yeah, I can sit behind myself in a Bolt EV.
No, but like comfortably.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, you can? That's weird.
That's what I'm waiting.
Well, the headroom is just not great in the Bolt.
No, the headroom's fine. It's just the hip and shoulder room is very narrow in the back seat.
It just feels kind of cramped to me.
It's a 2-person back seat. It is not a 3-adult back seat.
Well, neither is the GTI. I mean, you could in a pinch.
It's closer.
Be greedy when we don't feel
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bolt, I don't know. I've driven the Bolt a lot now, and I'm pretty used to it. And then I drove the Model Y, and the Model Y does definitely have better acceleration, which is nice. And the seats are better, and the sound system is better.
The seats are better in the front, but I find the seats are actually not great in the back.
Well, I don't really care.
My wife
car
I care because my wife complains about seats that aren't comfortable in the back.
Oh. No, Allie like almost never sits in the back.
Well, because you have 2 kids and I don't.
I have 2 kids, and then when we did have a parent next to a kid, like every time we went on a long trip, pretty much, we just took the truck and put the baby in the front middle.
Oh, right. Yeah, which I don't have the ability to do anymore.
Correct.
I never really did in the first place, but I theoretically did.
Yeah, the front middle is a great option for babies.
Yeah, I really like it, especially because it's braced against the dashboard. It's like
Exactly.
the seat isn't going anywhere. It's such an underrated thing, and everybody's like so scared of, oh, you can't have your kid in the front. It's like, okay. The only reason that ever became a thing was because of airbags.
Yeah, but the truck is so wide and the airbag path is narrow. The airbags are never going to hit an infant car seat. And if they do, it's just going to be the edge and the
No,
car.
I'm saying the reason people have gotten into their heads that the front seat is dangerous for children is because we can't turn off airbags in the U.S.
Well, and then for a long time, when they introduced the lap and shoulder belt, the middle seat had just a lap belt. Then even once they made the middle seat in the back have a lap and shoulder belt, the middle seat in the front, like in an Impala or a first or second gen Taurus, was just a lap belt.
Yeah, or my Grand Marquis.
Or your Grand Marquis, yes.
Which is as late as 2008. Yeah, actually, all the way up to 2010.
Yeah.
Or 11, something like that. So,
but
like,
in 150 or in any F series, the middle seat is a lap and shoulder belt.
Right, but even lap only belt is fine for seatbelt installed with a lockout plate.
Yes. It's actually easier. It's actually maybe better.
Yeah, because you don't have to fight with keeping the seat straight.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you really tighten down the seatbelt and it's a lap and shoulder belt, it wants to cant, like, it adds pitch or roll. It adds pitch and roll to your car seat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And unless you have some weird, obscure seat in forward facing, like the Kleck Fund.
Yeah, but no one has a Kleck Foof. Only like car seat nerds have that. No one even knows what a Kleck is. For the most part, people buy car seats.
I actually have a Kleck Flow and a Kleck Fund.
People buy car seats that they can get at like Target or Buy Buy Baby.
Mm-hmm. And specifically the ones when it's the springtime. Actually, it was just a little over a month ago. The springtime car seat trade-in 20% off event.
Yep. Or whenever they have a baby or their kid gets bigger.
Right. I mean, but people do, it is a thing. Like every year, people do try to time a purchase of the next phase child seat for the Target 20% off.
Yeah. The mom
I
group.
Also, what are probably really, really cost-conscious people might like try to time their conception event to have a birth of an infant seat around the time of the Target trade-in event. But, you know.
That's probably a stretch.
That might be a stretch, yeah.
Although I'm sure there has been someone who thought of that in all the millions of births.
Yes, or in all the Facebook child seat groups.
But that's probably a minuscule percentage of people.
Right, it's probably happened, but it isn't a thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Model Y at its current price point, not at its 2022 price point when it was almost 70 grand and had no tax credit, but at its current price point, it is
I think at its current price point, you're an idiot to get a Subaru Ascent.
Maybe not, because the Subaru Ascent has a usable third row for a crossover.
Oh, right.
But if you need a third row, you're an idiot not to get a minivan.
I mean, I've been in the third row of the Ascent, and it's...
I have also.
I mean, it's okay for kids.
It's better than a Highlander.
It's way...
I was not comfortable in it, but Allie was comfortable.
I don't know. A state prison is better than a Highlander third row.
Well, a Highlander third row is better than a Outlander third row.
Which might even be better than a Tiguan third row, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
I've actually sat in the third row of a Tiguan.
How?
On lunch. I had my coworker driving.
Why?
And I was like testing out the third row. Huh?
Is your coworker a larger human?
No, he's quite a bit smaller than I am. But I was just, kind of wanted to see, and he kind of wanted to drive the car and see how it drove,
Yeah.
And, so because...
obviously you sat in the third row.
He ended up buying an Equinox, but...
Okay.
Which I really like, except for the back seat. like it has enough room, but it has, I don't know. Like there's so many
It's kind of just
there's so many deal breaker back seats for me.
anyway.
So, I'm such a weird edge case, being like 6'4", almost 6'5", and like 250 pounds, and like whenever my spouse is driving, I'm in the back seat with child.
Yep.
Keep them occupied. I mean, she's getting better. Like she can kind of entertain herself somewhat now.
Yeah.
In the past, I always had to be in the back seat.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
she's
mean,
spoiled because I spoiled her.
Which is fine. Paying attention to your kids is good.
Yeah, so like that's what ruled out the Buick Regal Tourex for me.
Because you couldn't sit in the back seat.
No, I mean I was constantly hitting my head on the head, like the actual. I don't know if you would call it a headliner, but it's the part of the frame on the side of the sunroof. So it wasn't like I was hitting a flat headliner. It was I was hitting this pillar, the B pillar, I guess. Not the B pillar, the ceiling pillar or whatever, roof pillar. Yeah. Roof.
The roof rail.
The roof rail. Yeah, exactly. And it was just really highly uncomfortable. And if they had a no moonroof or no pano, lower trim Tourex, I would have bought it.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll probably still buy one, except I'm still butthurt about the fact that they cost now the price that I negotiated for that brand new one, which was $27,000.
Yeah.
Well, now they're like 25, but they have 70,000 miles on them.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about CTS wagon. Like it's just so small in the back seat. I would love to get a CTS wagon, but it's not really.
I would get an E63. I think I would get an E63 wagon and pull a Doug DeMuro, but it would be a W212.
I don't know. I mean, it's cool and all, but they're still expensive.
Well, for now. I actually almost bought an E400 with the supercharged V6. Or is it turbo?
If you think about it, you could easily get a Model Y and lower it an inch, and it'd be a wagon.
One of my neighbors has a first-gen GL class that's lowered, and it looks like a station wagon.
You know what looks like would be a cool looking station wagon is an R class.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard so many horror stories about the R class.
Yeah, I have also. It's not a hard to buy. It just looks kind of cool.
I test drove a diesel R class, a CPO one, shortly after they came to the U.S.
Yeah.
A Blue Tech. I think it was a second gen Blue Tech. And I really liked it.
In.
Yeah, I probably should have bought it, but I was like single, no kids, had absolutely no use for it.
You really should have just bought a Model S with free supercharging.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago.
And just stocked up on German control arms.
Stocked up on control arms and door handles.
Yeah.
They did eventually fix the door handles, I think. But anyway.
Yeah.
The Model Y. If I can find
a solution. It makes sense for like almost everybody in that segment.
Yes. I think I might buy one next year if I'm going to be around the US for a while. And the price is still low.
You would get that over a used unlimited supercharging X P90D?
Oh, yeah. I hate the X. I can't stand the looks of the X. It's just too egg shaped. The Y is also egg shaped, so that seems like a
Really
a
ugly.
weird
Visibility out the front is amazing.
of the X.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Oh, and also the X has less combined legroom first and second row than the Y, simply due to the fact that the third row is marginally usable.
Which means
Like
it
when
has
I
less space. It's less usable for children than a Honda Accord.
the X also, the problem with the X, in addition to the problematic Falcon Wing doors,
Oh, don't get me
when I
started on
tested
that.
the X, like I couldn't even do a infant car seat behind my seating position in the 6-passenger X.
You know what other cars I couldn't do that with? A Nuna Pippa,
Yeah, what one?
Acura MDX, till current, all years.
Okay, yep, not surprising because Honda Pilot doesn't have the greatest room either.
No, the Pilot is actually significantly better now, either in the last gen 2016 Plus or in the brand new one.
No, I mean the old like boxy looking one.
Oh,
It's
the
not
old
very.
boxy one, which is also actually literally a death trap, even though it looks really butch.
Yeah, it looks like a traditional SUV, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it has like first gen Ford Escape vibes.
Yeah, or like Jeep Commander vibes.
Yeah, like I'm tough. I
Yeah.
mean, man, I remember when I was working at Salesforce, I had a coworker that had bought a brand new one of those, the top trim. And
Pilot.
he was so proud of it and telling me how it handled so well for a 3-row crossover and how it was so amazing with its 4-speed automatic transmission. I was like, buddy, I drive a Mercedes E-Class wagon. Anyways,
Yeah.
like, hello. I could like lap you on any track.
Exactly. Well, the funny thing is, like, people think of, for example, an E-Class as like, ooh, that's an expensive, snooty car. But if you have like a Tahoe, they're like, oh, it costs the same, but that's a normal car.
Yeah, Tahoe is like a normal soccer mom car. Like,
Even though it's 60, 70, maybe 80 grand.
ooh, baby shark go-karts maybe, or bumper cars. Baby shark bumper cars. That's a thing now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I need to take her to go do bumper cars. Are your kids so I like sit her on my lap and like back the car out
Yeah.
and she loves it.
No, they don't want to drive the car. They drive the tractor. They don't like to drive the ATV.
They no, she's been itching to do that since she was like 1 year old.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Claire? You want to go night night or you want to wash your hands? Okay, she just want to wash her hands. Yeah. Yeah. Have you taken your kids to bumper cars? Huh?
I did in Mexico.
Oh, you did in Mexico.
Yeah.
Where did you go bumper cars in Mexico?
At that place south of the lake that you were maybe going to go, but then you didn't go.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, was that the like the mountain thing where you went up on the mountain or something?
Yeah.
Oh, and saw the animals and it was like 5 hours of driving or something?
Exactly right.
Oh, yeah, I was not up for that. Neither of us were up for that, I don't think.
My little Chinese MG.
I think those are underrated.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Slow. The infotainment system's glitchy. The fit and finish isn't that good. The gas mileage isn't that good. The space is good.
The Kia Rio was pretty good that Drew rented.
Yeah. Well, Kias have good interiors.
And a really good, pretty good back seat too, actually.
Yep.
Like the three of us actually fit in the back seat.
Yeah, no, Kias are good. At least for the first owner.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think the interior fit and finish was way better than the Dodge, whatever that thing was, the Chinese Trump Chi GS5 or whatever it was that I rented. It's a Dodge Journey, and it's not in the U.S. market.
Yep. Yeah,
But
I know. I
yeah,
know exactly what it looks like too. I read an article about it, like
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
GS5, and it got basically like 22 to 25 mile per gallon combined.
That's not.
I mean, it's a 2-row, and it had relatively middling power, but it was quite comfortable, at least in the front. So I don't know, but the infotainment on that was also extremely glitchy, and that's a trend I think with the. I think that's a trend with the Chinese cars.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what happened with your Nissan Kicks adventure?
Okay. Nissan Kicks adventure. Okay. Sunday, mother-in-law calls me. She's like, "Hey, I'm at Enterprise. They're giving me 4 choices of cars. This is to drive from Nashville to Lexington area, Kentucky, basically. Pick up the wife and 2 kids, drive to New York, basically to West Point area, pick up the grandma, and then drive to upstate New York. And then be in upstate New York for a few days, drive back down to West Point, drop off grandma, and then drive home." Or something like that. So it needs to be able to fit 2 car seats front facing in the back with a small adult.
Okay.
The options were Chevy Trax,
No, hard
Chevy
pass.
Malibu.
Unless it's the brand new 2024 one.
I don't know. Chevy Malibu, Hyundai Ioniq, and Dodge Charger.
You mean the Ioniq Hybrid?
The Ioniq Hybrid, yeah.
Maybe, but probably not.
No, it's too narrow. I said out of all those, the Charger's definitely the widest, and it has the most power, and has the longest wheelbase, and it's going to be the best highway cruiser.
Best road trip car.
Yes, absolutely is. I've had one on a road trip, and I've had a Chrysler 300 on a road trip also. And they're excellent road trip cars, and a V6 one will honestly probably give you 30 miles a gallon.
Because I only got barely more than that, like 33 in a Malibu. What's interesting is the Malibu was like, I rented one in LA.
Yeah.
And it was pinging and backing off timing like no tomorrow.
Yeah. Well.
Like whenever I tried to accelerate, it was like hesitating and stuttering and like, like, which is really annoying when you're trying to maneuver in traffic. And, you know, like there's an opening and you're going for it, like you're getting ready to go for it. And then you're just like, okay, I can make it, you know, with this little 1.5 4-cylinder. You know, you've made the plan for your opening. You got your blinker on, or maybe not. In Houston, you definitely wouldn't, because then you don't want to give away the enemy your position. But it's like, and then the motor, and then it just like, you know, it's like not happening. So it was interesting. I was wondering about that, and then I think they didn't give it to me with a full tank of gas.
Yep.
And then I went to, and everything in this was in LA, so like every gas station is like E10, E15, whatever, right?
Yep.
And all these other additives, like MTBE and who knows what other cocktail they put in the gas, dirty the gasoline with. And like just gasoline already causes cancer, so let's just give it more cancer, right?
Yeah, sure. That's what a lot of people think.
Yeah. So, anyways, so I mean, no, the whole California, like, everything has a cancer warning on it, like literally everything.
Yeah.
To the point where you could just say California literally causes cancer, and you'd probably be right. Anyways, so no offense to anybody who might be listening from California. I lived there for a long time, but anyways, it's a joke. So I put in 91.
California is a great place to visit. It's just has a unique culture.
Yeah.
Especially from the administrative standpoint and what you can and can't do and the hoops you have to go through to do anything.
Scenarios.
Just like register your car to drive it for a year, in another state like Kentucky or Illinois or Texas, it costs $100 or $200, and then all of a sudden in California it's $900.
Right. Or I could go on and on about all kinds of things about unique things about California, but
or the shady smog shops. They're like, oh, all of a sudden your check engine light came on, even though it was fine the whole way there, and you have to get this thing fixed in order to pass smog.
Well, at that point, you just that hasn't happened to me, but
Hasn't happened to me
you get
either,
a couple free retests, but and so far I've been at good places, but at that point you just go
like they'll deliberately sabotage your car to make it fail to get a repair job.
Oh, right. They'll actually break something or like unplug something somewhere. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And then say that they replaced it, but they didn't actually replace anything. They just plugged it back in.
Yeah, and they'll bill you for the part.
Yeah.
Like, luckily, we have that in stock next door.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the CarQuest truck will bring it in an hour or two, but they didn't actually get it from the CarQuest truck.
Or maybe they did, but they didn't install it, and they just put it from the new stuff pile to the return pile on the shelf, just for theater purposes.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Certain frustrating aspects about car ownership in California, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I put 91 in it, or allegedly California version of 91 in the Malibu, and it woke up and became a whole different animal.
Yep.
And it drove amazing, like better than it ever had. Anything with that size of motor has a right to drive.
Yeah. No, my coworker bought a new Malibu in like 2019, I think, which I believe is the same generation Malibu.
Yeah, because I think this was the one that I rented was like an 18 or a 19.
Yeah, it was there was a refresh right around that time frame.
Yeah, where they got rid of 2.0 and it was only 1.5, and then I think the next year they got rid of the hybrid, which was so dumb. But anyways.
Well, it's because it had the Voltec drivetrain, and they got rid of the Volt. That's why they got rid of the Malibu hybrid.
Yeah, when in reality they should have just had a Malibu hybrid, a Trax hybrid, an Equinox hybrid, blah blah
blah. A Blazer hybrid.
Yes, a Blazer hybrid, but
Voltec hybrid, all the transverse mounted GM things.
Yeah, because they would be more reliable and more efficient, and they would do better on CAFE.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, GM never got their production costs down on their hybrid transaxles like Toyota and Ford did.
Oh.
The Volt, they were losing money on every Volt.
Really?
Yes. The
Oh, so
whole
it makes
production ran of
sense.
the Volt. They lost money on every one.
Oh, so it makes sense that they would get rid of it
Yes.
financially.
But
For
they
an
also never
EV.
had the volume on the Volt. And they didn't have the initial volume either.
Right, so they can't afford to split the volume between hybrids and EVs. They're like, if you want efficient, you just have to buy an EV.
Another thing is like Toyota, when Toyota came out with the Prius, they were selling tens of thousands. And for a while, like in the late 2000s, early 2010s, they were selling hundreds of thousands. And that paid for their Gen 3 Prius transaxle, which is also
Probably
the
best engineered Toyota product other than the Land Cruiser.
yeah, and that's also a similar transaxle design to the Ford one, where they started manufacturing their transmission internally in 2013 for the C-Max and the Fusion hybrid. The HF35 is when
What
Ford
deal with
switched.
the HF35? Why did those like in shafts and things like fail? And
It's just bearings being under spec, is my understanding.
oh, interesting.
Like from a certain supplier range, the bearings just didn't meet spec, or Ford didn't engineer the spec to a rigid enough standard initially in the HF35 to match the usage. And then the other thing is, for the non-plug-in hybrid Fusions and C-Maxes, they don't have a transmission pump that runs when the internal combustion engine is not running. So there's no fluid circulation other than splash lubrication, unless the engine's running. But in the plug-in hybrid, there's an electric pump.
Interesting.
So I'm not sure if it's just due to the higher prevalence of non-plug-in hybrids that more of them fail, but I've definitely read of more failures of HF35s in the non-energy models that were just a regular hybrid.
Oh,
But like my black C-Max, I drove from 130,000 miles until the parents got it to like 230,000 miles on it, and it had no transmission issues. And the only reason they got rid of it was, so it had worn out suspension bushings on the entire rear suspension, basically. After 10
it would have
years,
been worth it for them to keep it and run it another 100K.
I don't know. They got quoted to like a $2,000 or $3,000 for new trailing arms and trailing arm bushings and upper and lower, or not upper because I had replaced the upper, but like lower control arms.
Oh yeah, I had to replace both lower control arms on the S60 recently.
But
Because
like,
one of them was bad because I'm pretty sure. Well, first of all, the car is 10 years old and has like 80,000 miles on it. But number two, because Houston, and number three, because someone admits that, they hit something, like a bad bump or something, like a pothole or whatever. I don't know.
yes, exactly.
And that's
But then,
like one bad pothole is enough to like.
so you got to think Chevy came out with the Volt in 2012, and the transaxle, from my understanding, didn't change significantly until 2019, even though they changed the battery and made a bigger battery and changed the body to be like, I think the same ish kind of sort of platform as the Cruise, but at least some of the components. But they didn't have the benefit of, when they were building the Volt, of really reverse engineering the Gen 3 Gen 3 Prius and the second gen Ford stuff to work off of, which was largely similar to the Toyota transaxle. And then they put that ginormous battery in it, however big it was, like 15 or something, 16 kilowatt hours. For a plug-in hybrid is a big battery.
Oh yeah, there was that thread we were talking about on the Choose FI cars.
Yeah.
Like somebody looking for was like looking to buy a RAV4 Prime, and those are finally coming down to MSRP. I think if you can find one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Toyota dealers are still notorious for adding like add-ons and stuff.
Toyota's just hard to buy a car from.
Yeah.
Scion was a step in the right direction for Toyota of having a fixed price.
Yeah, like Tesla, basically. Like Saturn and Scion were the two that did that before Tesla.
Yeah, and customers liked it, but dealer franchises did not like it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what else is there in plug-in hybrid? Like, I'm much more a fan of the Outlander.
Escape. There's Escape.
No, I mean, that's like decent size.
The Escape's the same size as the Outlander.
Is it?
Yes. Yes. Go to what measurement are you looking at?
The width.
The width. Yeah, it's the same.
So
maybe the Ford has more rear hip room. The Escape has some hips to it in the current generation.
Because hips don't lie.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see. The
not the body width, the interior width.
Yeah. It's okay. So rear seat dimensions, rear legroom 39.9, rear shoulder 55.9, rear hip 53.3. Okay. I wonder if the Bronco Sport is wider than the.
No, it's narrower than the Escape.
What?
Yes.
How is that possible? Because it certainly looks. Oh, 53.3. Hold on. That's identical, actually.
Oh, that's surprising.
They are in an identical the Ford Escape and the Outlander. And what's interesting is that the Rogue is actually significantly less combined rear legroom, front and rear legroom, even though they're the same platform now on the Outlander and the Rogue. It's like the Outlander is like a stretched Rogue.
Yeah, second row hip room on the Outlander and the Escape is 53 inches.
No, what I mean, once you go look at the combined front and rear.
Oh, the combined front and rear legroom?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Outlander, it's 39.9 plus 41.7.
Okay. And the Escape?
So that's 81.6 combined. And then the Escape, according to carbuzz.com, or let's look at Edmunds.
Edmunds good, but Edmunds doesn't list hip room. So I always go to cars.com, but cars.com took away the.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But so 2023 Escape, 42.4 plus 40.7.
So that's more. That's 83.1.
That's like huge.
It is.
And then
look at a Model Y also, because the Model Y is quite a bit, or just for fun. I know 2 doesn't like the Model Y, but
I don't like the Model Y either at this point. I think it's
I
just
don't.
meh. I mean, it's better than any meh crossover.
It's
Except
definitely
maybe
better than a Forester. It's better than a Highlander. It's better than an Ascent. It's better than a. Well, I haven't driven the new CRV. It's definitely better than a RAV4. Absolutely.
the RAV4 is like, I don't know.
Penalty box.
The RAV4 is like cruel and unusual punishment. Should be unconstitutional.
You know what's a terrible crossover?
Hmm.
Outlander Sport.
Yeah, but they're like stupid reliable, actually.
And they're cheap, but they're slow and unrefined, and the shift logic of the CVT of like
Our brother-in-law was about to like, I don't know, go insane driving when he got stuck with a rental of one of those.
Outlander Sport.
Yes, our now Canadian brother-in-law.
Oh, he didn't like it.
Oh, he thought it was like, how do people withstand this nonsense?
Oh, it's terrible. Allie hated that car. She absolutely
Oh, I
detested
hate that car. I test drove one. I absolutely hate it too.
And it smelled like smoke
But-
too. So
I think it's actually better than an HRV, but the old HRV.
well,
The front seat is actually more comfortable than the original HRV, significantly. And they're both, I don't know, it's slightly more noisy and slightly slower, but not by much. And it's like, you could, back then when I was looking at the HRV, when I got to 2018, it was like $5,000 less. Okay, so Model Y long range all-wheel drive 2023, front hip room 53.8, second hip room 50.6. So
pretty narrow.
it's wider slightly than a
In the
RAV4, but way less than an Outlander, and
Or an
way less
Escape.
than an Escape, which is insane because the thing's got a big booty and thick.
It does.
Let's see. Second leg group 40.5, which is respectable.
Oh, hold on. Allie's calling me. I gotta go.
All right. Well, it's been fun.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye.